Here at Northwestern State head coach Rick Cabrera, the Demons' first of two straight split weekends, Saturday at home, Monday on the road. Saturday at home, it's Corpus Christi, Monday on the road at McNeese. And Coach, will jump right into the Islanders, starting with Monday, tough one at Southeastern. But, sometimes the good thing about losing that second game of the weekend is you got some time to work out what went wrong.
Yeah. Losing is always hard to flush the game, especially after you watch film and see what corrections you could have made as a coach. But the good thing about basketball is that you play another game until they tell you that you can't play anymore. So our next game is at home. It's against the defending champs. A very good team, very disciplined, hard playing team. So we have our work cut out, but we'll be ready to go.
Technically, you're in a stretch where 6 games rotate between road and home. Is it tougher to get a bit of a rhythm in that situation?
That's a great question. I don't really have an answer for that because I've never done that. At all the places that I've been at this level, it's always been, the weekend on the road or at home. Maybe one time I did it at Arkansas State, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, like the focus is obviously to win every game that you play, but most importantly, win your home games. And if that doesn't happen, you gotta steal a road game. But in our situation, we just take one game at a time and see how it goes.
You did get one on the road last week, and you mentioned coming home, and you're going to come home and face a team that. Although the faces have changed, last year it's a rematch of a conference tournament championship game and frankly, conference regular season championship game. So, although the faces have changed, I don't think much has changed from what Corpus has been able to do on the court.
Yeah, Jim has done a great job with his team, man. I know they returned, I think 2 guys at start, but he recruited some really good players as well. They play hard, they defend. They're big, they're tough, so they, and they're very balanced offensively. Like they don't have the one guy that's going to score, kind of like New Orleans, like a Jordan Johnson or something like that, so you just never know who's going to give you 15, 18. It's a different guy every night. So that's actually a good thing. So they're a very good team, very well coached.
Well, in some ways, it sounds a lot like your team. I mean, yes, Cliff Davis has kind of been the guy, the most consistent scorer you've had. But if you look at it, you've had 11 guys that have had a double-figure scoring game this season, and that's got to be some of the balance. I know you want it a little bit more consistently, but at least it's shown that you don't have to rely on one guy every night.
Yeah, I mean, in conference play, Cliff has not been as dominant offensively, as he was in a non-con. 2 things I think can attribute to that is, one, scouting in conference is a lot different. And 2, other guys are stepping up and just playing well. Like we have a rotation, we have some continuity, and that makes our team better, believe it or not. I would love for Cliff to make every shot that he shoots, but when our team is, balanced and scoring, we are a better team.
Well, Cliff has done some things. He had 4 assists the other night down at Southeastern. It was in a losing effort, but he's rebounding well. Everyone seems to be it's pretty amazing that this team that was, and again, it was a size difference most nights in the non-con, but 5 straight games where you've either out-rebounded or been even on the boards, and in that stretch, 3-2. Monday night was the outlier. First time this year you've out-rebounded a team and lost. But focus on the boards, whether it's taking away possessions or creating extra ones for yourself, has kind of been a bit of a telling stat for this team.
Yeah, like I said before, starting 2 bigs helps us. Jamel has rebounded well in conference, which he didn't really do well in a non-con. But we do what we practice and what we emphasize every day is rebounding the basketball. And that's, if you rebound the basketball, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to win, but it's going to put you in position to win every game. And within conference, with the exception of one, for 40 minutes, we were in position to win a game. And a lot of that has attributed to rebounding the ball.
Well, it really started with that McNeese game, the second game of conference. And as a coach, I mean, you've got a 31-game regular season schedule, and that was about game 16, 15, 16, somewhere in there, kind of about the midpoint. And it seems to have been a bit of a jumping off point or a turning point for this team. Is that what you see as well?
No, I mean, absolutely. Just, we've had some defections on the team, which either through me or through the student athlete. But it has helped our team grow, and come together more. When you come together more, you play together. And our guys have done that, and we have shared the ball a lot better than we ever have. And that's something that's emphasized. They start to see it. When you do right things, then winning attacks onto that. And it didn't do that in the first semester. A lot of that was on me, but it's changed, and we're moving forward for the better.
Well, you'll return the game against McNeese on Monday, and it's always interesting to see those second-time matchups, especially when it comes basically in the first, you're just out of the 1/3 mark of conference play, and you're going to have played McNeese twice in the first 7 games. What are some of the challenges when not just with them, but in general, a second time around? Because in most conferences, you do see at least one team twice a year.
Yeah, well, one, playing on the road, the second time around is always a challenge. 2, I mean, they are a very good team, very well coached team. But like I tell my guys, it's basketball. You love the sport. You play it every day. It's a team that, we made 3 or 4 different plays we could have won. So you go in there with that same mentality. We fear no one. We don't back down to anyone. Excuse me. We just prepare for it. It's a one-day prep. And you get better, and you go try to win the game.
And that starts on the defensive end, and it certainly did that game. I think that was at the point, the fewest points you'd allowed to a Division I team this year came against McNeese. And you talked about it. You've talked about it a lot this year, focusing in, locking in on the scouting report, handling your assignment. And, that game, and the game at New Orleans, Chase Forte certainly did that against Jordan Johnson. And that, in an era where a lot of people look at the points column and don't look a lot past that, what Chase did in that game, and what he's done several times this year when he's been asked to defend that top scorer is kind of lock them down and set the tone for that defense.
No, absolutely. Defending and rebounding will always be the staple of winning in every sport. And we've done that. I'm proud to say, and I hope and pray we can continue to. But I'm proud to say that, I would say with the exception of the Lamar game, we've held our opponents to 40% or below field goal percentage. And when you do that and you rebound, you give yourself a chance to win the game within the last 2 minutes. We did that against Sela. Transition buckets beat us that game. But, you just regroup and try not to let that happen again.
Coach, good luck Saturday, and thanks for your time.
Appreciate it. Thanks.